in this broadcast are those of the host/guest and do not necessarily reflect the views or positions of any of BXR entities and those they represent.
Love that intro. I never get tired of it. I love the applause. Got the best guests out there in the world. Welcome to another week of Living a Rich Life. I am your host, Rich James. Here on Living a Rich Life talk show, we inform, inspire, and encourage each other to live through 6 elements of Living a Rich Life Network. Those elements are good health, strong relationships, financial freedom, goals and achievement, extraordinary experiences, and philanthropy. Here on Be Exposed Radio and Living a Rich Life, we all have a story to tell, and today's guests are no different. With that being said, let's talk about it. Our first guest, it's an honor and a privilege for me to have her on. She is an actor, writer, producer, director, singer, songwriter, comedian, and we're going to see if she's a real comedian. I got a little jokes, but I know she loves to laugh. Please welcome entrepreneur extraordinaire, Miss Michal Roxie Johnson. Welcome.
Hello. You said my name right and everything. That was great. I appreciate that.
Well, you know, some would say I'm somewhat smart. I always have Monty to help me when it comes to names, though. That's what he does. From a producer standpoint. I will tell you, we had your name backwards for a minute there. And he said, no, that's not right. But when you got a great team, it's always a good thing.
Oh, Roxie was first.
Yeah.
Yes. Funny about that. My mother said that's what it was supposed to be. But in the final hour, my father was like, no, I want her to be Michal, like me and Michael. So.
Okay. Well, that's a beautiful name. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
So first and foremost, tell us who is Michal Roxie Johnson and where is she from?
Ooh, that's the first question is really deep, but I can tell you what I can. Okay. So I am a lot of things, but first thing, I'm a Black woman that's just trying to make it, just trying to make it. That's the first thing. But I'm from Baltimore, born and raised. Background and all kinds of things. Human services, where a lot of my background came from. I am an entrepreneur, like you said, and basically who I am. I'm just a person that's full of love. That's
okay. What I am. I was gonna say, yeah. I mean, one of the things my team, we did our research and we saw love a lot when it came to the things and activities that you're a part of or have been a part of. Mm-hmm. One of the things that I do want to talk about, which seems to be a real key, is just health and wellness and working out. Something that I really have no desire on doing, but need to do. So first, what motivates you to work out? Because again, we did some research, and that's something that you're big on when it comes to just health wise. You work out a lot, right?
I do work out a lot. So I've been pretty motivated to work out. Kind of probably since my 20s. My mom has always been like a stickler for like being healthy. And so is my grandmother. And so I really just wanted to follow in her footsteps. So I've been like, I don't know, since my 20s, I've been Tae-Boing all over the place and doing all kinds of things like that.
You might have dated yourself with that one, Tae-Boing.
Well, it's okay because I'm the best person to date. So
I'll bring to that.
So, but no, yeah. So I've been doing, working out for a long time, but I've taken like spurts off. It's off and on, just because sometimes I don't feel like I necessarily need it. But in the last 2 years since the pandemic, I've been pretty committed to the consistency of it. And just finding that consistency in working out, really, I miss it when I don't have it. And so it's really just become a part of the fabric of who I am at this point. So.
Okay, well that makes sense. That makes sense. So as I mentioned, for those that are just tuning in, joining us, we are talking with Roxie Johnson, entrepreneur extraordinaire. Now you do wear many hats, right? Actor, writer, producer, director, singer, songwriter. Give us a sense of, you know, how long you've been doing each of those things, right? Because maybe it's all your life, but is there a period of time, you know, you've done one longer than the other? Give us a sense of those different categories.
Okay, so I would say like the acting, writing, directing, producer, it all happened at once. I wrote a play with a really good friend of mine, co-created a piece, a full-length sketch comedy play, and I produced it. In producing it, I had to direct it. So I wrote it, directed it. You know, you had to learn all of the things. I wrote a soundtrack. So became a singer-songwriter at that moment. And so that went up in, I guess, 10 years ago. And so since then, since I put my first piece up, I've been just doing other people's work as well. And I produce other things for myself, but I pretty much got started 10 years ago with all of those things. Yeah.
Okay. Would you say that?
Go ahead.
No. Would you say that you're more passionate about one versus the other?
I would say that I am more passionate. I'm just a passionate creative. Yeah. I don't think that one outweighs the other. I've always gotten the advice that I need to just focus on one thing. And I kind of rebuke that just because I'm like, I do what I feel in the moment. But as long as it's in the realm of creation, that's really all that matters to me.
Okay. So speaking of creation, and we'll stick with the kind of the health and wellness aspect of things.
Mm-hmm.
Can you tell our viewers about Live and Sweaty Total Health Fair that's coming up, I believe, right?
Yes, it is coming up this Saturday. I'm so excited. It's going to be from 1 to 5 at the garage. And it really, with all of those things, like a lot of things in my life, you know, you plan, you think about the things you really want to do. But Live and Sweaty, this health fair was something that just I never saw it coming. So I really just started planning it like maybe 2 months ago because I was just like, okay, I've been doing these videos. I do Live and Sweaty videos, and we'll get to that, to the conception. But basically, the health fair is just like an extension of something that I was doing for myself. And I thought, man, this seems like a nice logical step for me to do and to spread what has worked for me to other people. And so what's the best way to do that? In the form of like an expo or a health fair. At first, I didn't even know what I was going to call it. Is it an expo, a fitness fair? I don't know. So I got some help with that and settled on the total health fair because really all of it is connected. Mental health, physical health, everything. So.
Okay, so it sounds like you covered some of the why. So, but where did this concept? Where did it come from? Right.
So it came from, ironically, as an actress, I'm used to being other characters, but it doesn't always require me to be transparent. And I decided that I just kept coming up with these different ideas for interview series, which, and every time I would try to plan it, and I was like, man, I'm going to have to just really be out here, as me, not like as a character. And I just kept hitting this wall when it came to it. And I said, well, maybe I should do something to prepare myself for that and get over this, inability or this fear of being like transparent and nervous. Because I'm pretty much an introvert, but nobody ever believes that. But nobody believes it, but it's true. And so I joined. I am a member of, I subscribe to Beachbody On Demand, and I joined have a coach, and I joined her group. So every time I would work out, we had to do a check-in, and I started getting on and saying, hey, is Roxie coming to you live and sweaty? And I would just say something about my workout. And she, challenged me, the coach, she challenged me to start putting that in my Instagram stories. She really wants me just to be a coach. I'm not going to do that. But she challenged me to put in my Instagram.
Huh? There's going to be a follow-up as to she would challenge you to be a coach, and you said you don't want to do that. So
No,
I'll let you
she's
finish before we
been
get into that.
challenging me to be a coach, but I haven't done it because I'm not the kind of person to like beat people over the head that like buy things. But this is something, you know, I can sell you to yourself, you know, but I don't necessarily have to sell you an exorbitantly priced product to do that.
Right.
So yeah, so she challenged me to put the Live and Sweaties in my Instagram story. And I was like, wow, okay, well, that's different, but also in line with my goal of wanting to be more, you know, transparent and put myself out there. But it was good because, you know, Instagram stories only last 24 hours. So I didn't have to worry about like it being there forever. And then I started doing it, and I really started doing it in my most raw form. Like I had a bonnet on, like Monique would just die. Okay. So in my early Live and Sweaties, I wore a bonnet. It happens right after I work out. I look totally crazy, but I'm like, if I can go ahead looking like this, then I can go looking my best, you know? So it was a work in progress. So I started doing that, I guess about, I don't know, it's been mid-year. I guess it'll be 2 years since I've been doing that, or a year and a half around that. So I've been doing the Live and Sweaty videos, and then it just kind of came to me like, oh, this is what this is all about. I draw a parallel between something that happened during the workout, and I draw a parallel between that and like everyday life. So
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So again, folks, just tuning in, we are talking with Roxie Johnson. And so tell us, what can we expect at Live and Sweaty? Again, you mentioned it's this weekend, April 8th. And
Yes.
what time does it start?
It starts at 1 p.m. I have a full itinerary planned that you do not want to miss a minute of it. So yes, like, okay, you can be late, but don't come any later than 1:10.
Nice. Now,
Yeah, so what you can expect though really is just a full day of, or full, you know, not a full day, but a half a day of just working out, exercise demos. I've been able to pull together some of the leading people in the community, like somebody who's going to do a yoga demonstration. Queen D, I have her coming. She's going to do her body work demonstration, which is like super fast paced. Yeah. So I also have cooking demonstrations. I'm going to be they'll be giving away food samples. Obviously, they're going to be healthy. Generally healthy, but also taste good. I have somebody also who will be doing a juicing demonstration. All of that is going to be coming with samples as well. And then lots of vendors who focus on health and wellness and also self-care products, right down to somebody who is going to be doing like offering stretching, you know, on location and things like that. So,
okay. So also there's your vendor opportunities that's going to be all encompassing something health related in some form or fashion, right?
Yes, in some form or fashion, right? Because it could even be like self-care is a lot, right? So for me, I love going to the beach. So, you know, can't go to the beach without sunglasses. So
Right.
So that's, you know, self-care related, if you ask me. You got to protect your eyes from the UV rays.
Oh, goodness.
Yeah. So in addition to that, what I have done, I have identified a few people in the community who I watch, who may not know that I'm watching them, but I do watch them as motivation as well. And I see their commitment and consistency with working out. And I am going to be taking a moment to recognize those people. You know, some people know that I'm going to do it. Some people don't know that I'm going to do it. But I'm going to be taking that moment to just kind of recognize them on their journey and, you know, just talk about how they have been a positive influence on me. Yeah. And the community as well. Yeah.
Okay. And now this is going to be an annual thing that you're going to have going on. So this is the first, you know,
first inaugural, if you will. Yes. Yes. And part of me saying that is because, it's all about commitment, right? So I'm talking about
Mhm.
commitment. So it's really about fitness, but it's all about the commitment to something and allowing fitness, if you want to use that as your launching pad, to launch you into the next level of whatever it is that you want to achieve, any other goal attainment that you have, because the habits that we create and that routine that we have, is pretty much applicable to other things in our lives. Like you cannot excel without being consistent. And
Mhm.
so that this is how I am excelling, by using fitness. Anybody else can do that, but for me, it's this, and this is what I'm sharing, and this is how I got here. But just forgot what the question was.
Oh, it's okay. It's okay. I have that effect sometimes on folks. So one of the questions that I always like to ask my guests is usually two. One, what is your superpower? That we'll start with that one. What would you say is your superpower?
Okay, that's a good one. Well, first of all, I think that me not being able to say what my superpower is my superpower. So humility probably would be my superpower.
Okay.
Um, yeah,
Humility.
yeah, I think that's probably a
Keep it
superpower. But
simple.
also being able to just kind of like be fair. Like I can see things from both sides. That really gets on people's nerves a lot. Because I'm not always going to be on the side of the person who is complaining, or the complainant. I'm not always just
Hmm.
choosing that side. I'm able to look and like kind of peel back the layers and see what's really happening. I think um I don't know, I think acting it plays a big role in that, because like there are no bad characters necessarily. Like, I mean, once you start peeling back the layers of people,
Right.
you kind of find like, well, what happened? Why is it like
Say there's no.
this?
They say there's no bad act. Was it no bad acting? Just bad
That's,
actors.
well, the bad scripts. And they are bad actors. Okay, they are bad actors.
Oh, okay. All right. I'm
They are
about to say because this is
reputation
being exposed.
yes. However, even when you see, like, I always see like on Tubi, like the bad movies, I can even look at that and say, but guess what? They have a movie out on Tubi. They did it. It
Mm,
might be,
mm.
D level, but you got to start somewhere. So that's what I mean by my superpower. Like, yeah, okay, but guess what? How
Okay.
many movies do you have?
Right,
Yeah.
right, right. So this is Be Exposed Radio, and
Yes.
one of the things, like I said, we take the time to research our guest, and we got a little surprise for you, and tell us this is familiar to you. So Monty, if you could go ahead and run this clip for us.
I hope it's my favorite.
It's my job.
Okay.
I feel so bad about getting you involved in all this.
Listen, don't think nothing of it. Okay? I told you before, we're in this together.
Wish I knew what happened to her.
No, you don't, Lisa. Look, everything that she did to you, everything she put you through, you better off without her in your life.
What if she died?
She's fine, Lisa. Okay? If something that happened to her, we'd know by now. Somebody would come by the house. You would have got a phone call, something. Everything's fine. You don't have anything to worry about.
I'm not so sure.
What makes you so unsure?
Somebody dropped us by the house last week. This is Tamara's shirt, the same shirt she was wearing the day I stabbed her.
Lisa, why didn't you tell me about this sooner?
I was scared.
All right, if anybody asks, if anybody comes by the house, if there's any phone calls, you know nothing. You don't know where she is, you haven't seen her, and you know nothing about this shirt. You understand me? You know nothing about this shirt.
I would.
Wow. Okay.
I love it. I love it. So
Oh man,
so
done so many things since then, but yes. Toll
so what that was a toll booth series,
Yeah,
right?
that was Toll Booth. Yeah, that was like season 2 of Toll Booth, I believe. Season 2.
Okay, okay.
Yeah.
That's a that was some pretty good acting there.
Well, yeah, well, I mean, that was okay. It was good. It was all right. It was
Yeah,
my
so
best stuff. But it's a good. It was well written script. It was a well written series by Derek Lewis, and it's really really good. So
yeah,
I was actually in season 3 as well, real quick, but.
very nice. Yeah, now Derek was he was actually a guest on the show, as well
Mhm.
as a few other folks. Ashley, so shouts out to that whole crew. Ashley Ramsey and Honor Drew.
Honor,
Um,
yeah.
so that was good. I thought that was really good. So is
Thank
acting? What's going on in terms of acting now? What's next from an
you.
acting perspective? Anything
Well,
coming up?
do I have anything coming up? Well, right, you're only as good as your last role, right? Like, so, um, I don't actually have anything right now. Well, actually, when I hang up from you, I have to do it. I said submit an audition for something. But I do have a couple commercials that are running on television currently. One would be for Brick Body's Gym, which was a really hard, hard commercial to shoot. And another one is for Shore United Bank, which is really good. So both of them are current and active. And actually, Brick Bodies is going to be one of the vendors at the Live and Sweaty Health Fair. They agreed to come out and do some giveaways and some games and things like that. Talk about obviously what they offer in the realm of like gym and classes and things like that. So I'm really excited to have them.
Okay. Let's stay on this acting bit for just a little longer before we get back to
Okay.
this health and wellness.
All right, let's
So
talk about.
there's something that my folks they found, pear and dime.
Oh, it's called Paradigm.
Paradigm.
Paradigm. Yes.
Paradigm.
Yes.
So tell us about that. And is that something that's still active?
Okay, so Paradigm was something that I created with a friend of mine, Jamal Evans. And basically it was the idea is that we would be um, collaborating, like actors, pairing actors with writers, okay,
Yeah.
or singers with songwriters. So you could basically give raw material. Everything had to be original. You can write a monologue or a 2 to 3 person scene, short scene, and I acted as the casting director. So they send me information. I mean, they send me their work. I will now pair them up with actors and songwriters, singers, and then we have a show. Give them 30 days to like work on it, however they want to do it, either self-directed or fully in collaboration. I was even like helping with the director. I offer space and feedback, and then put together a live show where they got to perform what it was that they had been working on. Sometimes it was that the writer had never knew what they were about to see, so that was great. And then after each performance, I did an interview with both the performer and the writer to find out about their process and what they learned and working on somebody else's material. It was really a great idea. It's not active. The last one we had was in 2019, obviously right before the pandemic, and I just haven't gotten back into that because I'm always coming up with something new. But I would not. I would think that maybe it might come back. I'll just say that. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that.
Yeah. I mean, that sounds like a really good. Yeah, that sounds like a good program. When I think about just as you described it, one of the things that I focus on is being a network concierge, connecting people to do different things, and that sounds like a lot of folks could benefit from that. I think so.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
I think it was just hard. Like we the tagline was like writers plus performers plus the audience equals a perfect
Mhm.
10. And so the audience comes into it because at the live showcase, the audience got to vote on who was the best pair, like the best pair writer and actor, and also the best pair singer and songwriter. So everybody was like actively involved from start to finish because without collaboration, you can't really do much without it. And that
Absolutely.
so dimes, it would be like top tier people. That's the vernacular. Maybe I'm dating myself again, but pair a dime. So yeah, we were pairing dimes, pairing basically people who were top 10.
Okay. So again, folks that are just tuning in, this is your guy, Rich James, here on Living a Rich Life. And we are talking with Michal Roxie Johnson. Roxie, can you share with our audience your social media tags and how they can get a hold of you in regards to, again, the Live and Sweaty health fair that's coming up, as well as anything additional?
Yes, absolutely. You can always reach me at Instagram. It's Roxie, ROXIE _Rogue, ROGUE. And I also have a second one. It's official Love Rocks, LUVROX.
Now tell us about that, because we were going to get into that. So two different tags.
Love Rocks.
Yes.
Oh yeah, Love Rock. So Love Rocks is the it is the interview series that I am working on. I'm preparing. So
Okay.
it's going to be called Love Rocks, and it's going to be an exploration of love in all of its forms, of love of people, places, and things. And so, my guest will come in to talk about basically an act of love or something, an act of love that either they performed or that they had that impacted their lives. And so it doesn't have to be about people, it could be about places, things, and how you got there. A lot of times people, when you think about love, they always think about romantic love. And I personally have been learning that love it's everywhere and it's in everything, as it should be. Like, that is my goal, is to lead with love. Like I said, I'm a person that has a lot of love to give, and it's important to recognize that does not always have to come through the shape of romance. Right. And more like, self-love is a real big thing, because you can't really, I do believe that you can't love other people well unless you love yourself.
Okay, I like it. Well said. Well said. So, what does a typical day look like for you, right? Considering, as an entrepreneur, a lot of different things going on. You're creative. I love that term. But what is a typical day look like for Michal Roxie Johnson?
Michal, and that's okay.
I said Michal.
You said Michal. You slipped right into it. And that's why people do that all the time. That's why I just started going by my middle name. Like,
yeah, you can't mess up Roxie, right?
Yeah, Roxie. So a typical day, I don't even have a typical day. All my days are atypical, but what you can guarantee.
Atypical day?
Yeah, what's an atypical day? Basically, I set my own schedule, so I will either I take my time getting up because I don't like to be stressed out. Sometimes I may have to. I work in DC. I do housing inspections for subsidized housing programs. I'm a contractor for some agencies down there, so it may involve me taking a ride to DC. It always involves me posting on my Love Rocks page, because I'm trying to be consistent with that. I will find the time to work out, either in the morning or the afternoon. I'm more of an afternoon type person. People say morning or night. I'm midday. I'm a midday person. Don't catch me on the outskirts. Catch me in the middle, right?
Okay.
Yeah. Catch me in the middle. But always, just being highly responsive to people who are always needing something from me, some kind of information, etc. I like to, I don't know, hang out with my friends. I like to watch TV as research, because I'm always like being inspired by things like that. So those would be the things that would typically happen in my day.
Okay. So what can we expect in the future in terms of, I think you mentioned one thing, the Love Roxie.
Yeah, right? Love Rocks. Love Rocks.
Love Rocks.
Yes, because it's really not about me, but it is, because, it's a play on words. So really it's that love does rock, like, this is what
okay.
Yeah, love
that's
rock.
That creative. That's the creative coming out.
Yes, the double entendre. We can go deeper with that one. Yeah, so it is basically, a sentiment, so to speak. Yes.
Okay.
So you can expect the interview series. Love Rocks, you can expect more of Live and Sweaty, all of me giving my motivational moments after my workouts. And obviously, I'm planning to continue to do health fairs going forward. This being the first one. I did not even realize when I chose the date for this. I was like, oh, I want it to be spring. And when I chose the date, I learned that World Health Day was the day before. So it's actually April 2nd.
Oh.
Yeah. And so I was like, man, look at the universe, how this is all working out. Like
It lined up.
It lined up. I mean,
Yeah.
because they say when you're doing what you're supposed to do, things will line up. And so that's just one example that I have of that. So definitely expecting that. And I guess just expecting more creative things. You never know. I had somebody, they were like, what are you doing? Somebody looked at me and like, I said, yeah, I'm doing the health fair. They were like, what are you doing? So that is the kind of feeling that, you know, I guess people have come to expect from me. Like, who knows what I'm going to do, but I'm always going to be doing something. It's going to be fun. It's going to be loving. It's going to be, you know, a reflection of me.
Right. And let's say it, I mean, your purpose, right? There's nothing like doing what God has, you know, and I'll say God or whoever you believe in to you know, what is your purpose? Because a lot of times folks don't find their purpose, or they find it later in life. You know, so all those things matter, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I didn't even start acting until later in life, like late. Typically people like, oh, I've been acting, you know, since they were kids. I didn't start acting until my 30s. Like, so
okay.
So and even with that, what you said about finding your purpose, I can't even necessarily articulate or say that I actually know what it is. And maybe, you know, with me trying out all of these things, which is something else that I'm big on talking about in my Live and Sweaty, is like, you have to try things. You have to try things out. You have to search and explore, engage in things to decide if that's your thing. Because in doing that, you may find your purpose. You know, I feel like that's kind of the way to do it.
Absolutely. Now, you did, you know, as I said, we did our research.
Every time you say that, I get scared now.
You know, can you hit a couple of bars for us?
No,
you can't.
No.
This is Be Exposed Radio, so you know we put it out there.
One of my songs from my Apple, my.
Oh, see, I wasn't sure. I could have pushed one of those, but
yeah.
I said let's go to acting and then have her, because I can hold a tune too. Yeah, I mean, I ain't asking for
I'll do that. I would. Can I pass that on to you to do? Because I know you'd like to.
Oh Lord.
Listen,
I think the mics is messing up, Monty.
Okay, yeah. So actually, singing is not one of the things that I really have been doing for a long time. I had a band. We released the album in 21, I think. We had an album release. Okay. I wrote all the songs, and you know, it's a really I guess I would describe it as a soul rock. You know, because I have kind of like a gritty rock voice. But all of the songs were, you know, I was going through things. So I need, you know, you always have to have an outlet. It's important. So the album is called No Wisdom, KNOW. And it is on Apple Music. The name of the band is the Johnson Family Band. If anybody wants to go and check it out, it's motivational. It's great. I like it. And I was proud of it, but I'm not in the band anymore. But I am still working on writing music. I'm working on my theme song right now for the Love Rock show. So
okay, all right.
Yeah.
Well, we look forward to that venture, folks. Again, if you're just tuning in, we are talking with Michal Roxie Johnson. Did I get that right?
You got it.
I will tear up a name, and I should know. I got a colleague of mine that's just exact same name. The other question that I always ask my guests is, what does living a rich life mean to you?
Okay. Well, that's actually a very deep question, because, you know, what does it mean to be rich? I know that there is wealth and then there's being rich, and one is money and one is not. So for me, living a rich life is just having the things that I need. And included in that would be human connection.
Mm.
Heavy on the human connection, and the safety and security piece, and feeling like there are people in your life that you can count on and depend on, and also that you can do the same for. So I feel like when you have those things and you have that, then that is a very rich life, because if you know that you have people who are not going to let you fall, regardless of how big or small or where you are in your journey. I think that's like one of the most important things to have.
Okay, well said, well said, well said.
Mhm.
So, again, we could probably go on and on and on. I want you to share with our folks before we, take a quick commercial break. Share folks again with the event that's happening this week, giving all those details. And I'm gonna turn it over to you. Go ahead and
All
pitch your
right.
event.
Okay, everybody, listen up. So I hope to see you at the Live and Sweaty Total Health Fair. It is the first annual health fair that I am putting on. I hope that you can come out. It is a free, all ages event. Come dressed and ready to be active. Even if you're just, watching other people be active, but just be feel motivated to put on your athletic wear and come out and make some connections, meet some people who are doing some really good things as far as health and wellness in the community, and just get active. Yeah, it's going to be at the garage, which is located at 6 East Lafayette Street, Baltimore, Maryland, 21202. And it starts at 1 o'clock and goes to 5 o'clock. Don't show up at 4:30. You're going to miss everything. Please, sweet spot 110.
There you have it.
Yeah.
There you have it. There you have it. Well, thank you, Roxie, for joining Living a Rich Life today. Hopefully, we didn't be expose you too much today. I
No.
encourage folks to follow Roxie on IG. You can see her IG scrolling at the bottom of the screen. If you have any questions, concerns, again, this video is going to be out there for you to take a look and get inspired and motivated. So, Roxie, thank you for joining, and
Thank you.
look forward to chatting again with you soon. And I think me and my team we're gonna try to make it out there Saturday.
Oh, I would love to have you. Listen, I would love to have you on the mic and do some, give some motivating words yourself. I mean, honestly, that's what it's all about. Like everybody
Right.
has a story, like you said, and like if you could just, share yours, no pressure, but that would be great.
I might see if I can drag Monty out also.
Oh,
All right, so we're going to take a quick break, folks. Again, this is Rich James, Living a Rich Life Network, and this is beexposedradio.com. We'll be right back after these commercial break.
The Style Lounge Boutique. For a different caliber of service, the Style Lounge Boutique. For clothing that fits your lifestyle, the Style Lounge Boutique at 1734 Maryland Avenue. Trust me, you're going to love to share.
And we are back. This is Living a Rich Life talk show again, where we inspire folks and motivate folks to pretty much change the ways of their life, again, for the better. And we believe in 6 elements. That is good health, strong relationships, financial freedom, goals and achievement, extraordinary experiences, and philanthropy. Our first guest was Michal Roxie Johnson, and it was good to catch up with her. Again, she's having a health fair. I want to make sure I say this: a health fair. It is going to be at the garage this weekend. So we're excited to have her on the show today, and look forward to more to come. Again, live and sweaty. So let's get into our next guest. I think our next guest is ready and queued up. So our second guest for today, yes, another actor, global realtor, a foodie, influencer, and traveler. Please welcome real estate professional, Miss Mimi Lievers.
Hello, everybody. Thank you for having me. How are you
Oh, well,
today?
I am better than amazing. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. I'm happy that I'm on and able to chat with you guys today.
Okay, well, we appreciate you joining, taking time out of your schedule. I know the schedule of a real estate professional can be very demanding
It
in
can
in
be.
itself, right? And
Yes,
how
it
do you
can.
balance that? Tell us how do you balance being a before we get into how do you balance the real estate life?
Well, you really have to plan things accordingly to balance. However, my clients' needs are before a lot of things in my life. So you have a certain time frame when you're working with people and their dreams. So I'm all about helping the person get the dream of their life, owning a home. So a lot of times I have to put things aside that personally I may want to do to assist them. But I also have a team that helps and back me as well.
Okay. And how long have you been working as a real estate agent?
For more than a decade, so 10 plus years.
Oh, 10. Oh, okay. Well, that's a healthy amount of time.
Yes.
That's definitely. And what would you say are three things that separate you from other agents, right? Because again, there's a lot of realtors out there, but what separates you? And again, three things, or you can go on and give us more. But what three things you think would separate you from other agents?
Well, for me, personally, it's not about the money. It's about helping people obtain their dreams. That's just number one. I provide a service that I feel like everybody should be a homeowner at some point in time. So that's number one. It's not about the money. It's I'm actually passionate about what it is that I do.
Hmm.
And I genuinely care about my clients and I try to guide them in the right direction. Not try, I do. Secondly, I make sure that I keep up my education about what's going on in the market, whether it's interest rates, what new programs are available for my clients to help them save money on their purchase, to keep money in their pocket. And thirdly, I would say that I have a strong network. I
Hmm.
network with individuals. So I'm not limited to just Baltimore or just Maryland. I network with people in DC. I network with people in Florida. I network with people globally. So I'm able to assist with purchasing homes in every other area as well as the Maryland area. Now, I'm not licensed in every other area, but I have colleagues that can assure that you would get the same type of professionalism that I would provide.
Okay, and that's important. Let's talk about some of these programs in terms of you say everyone should be a home buyer at some point, which I think is a wonderful thing. Can you share with any programs that you're aware of as a first time buyer or just as trying to be a home buyer?
Okay, well, definitely. We always have the Maryland First Time Home Buyers Program, and
Okay.
that could put an extra 5 to maybe up to 8 grand in individuals' pockets, depending on. These are some things for every program that I'm going to mention. These are some things that they consider. They consider credit score, they consider time on the job, they consider money that you have saved independently on your own. So we have to keep those things in mind. But they have a grant out for first time home buyer. Any first time home buyer is eligible for that. And some of these grants require you to take a class. It may be a 2 hour class, a 3 hour class. Then we have buy back the block. Now that's new, that's hot, and I like it because I
Mhm.
believe the minimum income that you have to have is roughly 24 to $25,000. So This is for the low income to middle class income candidate. And so Buy Back the Block is a grant. It's a grant, it's a gift. You don't have to pay it back. You buy in the community that you live in. So if you're living
Okay.
in an apartment, and let's say, and it has to be in the city, it has to be in Baltimore City. So if you live in an apartment in Edmondson Village and there's a house on the street in Edmondson Village, you can use the Buy Back the Block grant to assist with that purchase of that home. You cannot, I repeat, you cannot take this grant and say, oh, okay, I live right here in Emerson Village, but I want to buy in Rosedale. It doesn't work that way. You have to buy back the block, stay in the community that you're in. And the Buy Back the Block grant allows, you can pair that grant with, like, if the home was previously a vacant and they renovated it, they have a vacant to value grant. You can put the first time home buyers grant with that. You can put the Buy Back the Block grant with that. You can put Live Near Your Work grant with that. Some of these grants, you can just stack them. I've heard, I haven't experienced, but I've heard that people have gotten close to $50,000 in just grants that they were able to stack up. So,
wow,
yeah, it's
that's
real,
amazing. That's amazing.
yes, it's a unique program.
Yeah.
So you got to thank your city officials. You got to thank your city officials and different people that are pushing to get these vacants cleaned up and rehabbed and get the people that actually live in the community actually home buyers.
Oh, nice, nice. So those that are just tuning and joining us here on Living a Rich Life, we are talking with real estate professional Mimi Lievers. She just dropped some gems surrounding some programs. Can you share with folks how they can get in contact with you, your social media, so that they can continue that discussion or ask any additional follow-up questions?
Yes, so you can get in touch with me. My email is memovesyou, MEME, moves you, YOU, @gmail.com. My phone number is 443-618-1553, and I prefer text messaging. So that's my preferred method of the phone call. Also, my office is located in Owings Mills, Maryland. You can make an appointment with me. The consultation is free. And not only do I help first-time home buyers, I help sellers and I help investors sell their properties as well. I have a home buying workshop on April the 22nd.
Okay.
And that's for your first time buyers. I will have a lender on hand, I will have a home inspector on hand, and I will have an insurance person on hand. On April the 27th, I will have another home buyers workshop that I've partnered with, and this is dedicated to the veterans. So this is a VA workshop. And then in July, I will have another workshop. I partnered with a young lady that runs the training for the grants. So a lot of those grants that I mentioned, you do have to take a class, and this is one of the required classes. So I will be a lender on hand, and that is going to be in July. I believe that class is booked up from April, May, and June. So if you need that info, give me a call.
Nice, nice. So how many clients are you currently working with now?
Currently, I'm working with 6. So I have 6 on hand, and one just went to settlement on Monday. So kudos to her. She was a first-time home buyer. So
Nice.
I'm very excited. I love helping people make their dreams come true. So it's a blessing. It's more of a blessing than anything.
Absolutely. Now, do you specialize in, particular neighborhoods, or, I mean, based on what you said, it doesn't sound like it. But, are there certain neighborhoods that you just kind of grab a hold and people come to you when it comes to buying a home?
I'm very knowledgeable about the city.
Okay.
I'm definitely knowledgeable about Anne Arundel County, Howard County, Prince George's County, and now with my latest client, I'm a little more familiar with that DC, Maryland line area because she purchased in that area. But there's no particular area that I would say that probably the city. The
Hmm.
city, I rip and run all through the city. I know the city and I know a lot of the grants and funding for the city, but each county typically has an additional grant outside of your first time home buyers. The one thing about these grants, some grants are gifts and some grants you may have to repay back. So, but it helps you get into that property. And there, I need to mention this too. Sometimes the grant may not make sense. If it's a first time home buyer's grant and your credit score may not be that great, the grant may lower your purchase price. But if you don't
Hmm.
use the grant, then you may qualify for more money. It's just a little tricky. So it's about getting you to the right lender that fits your income and your credit, and they kind of know what program to put you with.
Okay. So what does a typical day look like for you, right? I can only imagine. You got to get up early, showing houses and appointments and all that good stuff. What does a typical day look like for Mimi?
Well, let's start with me. First of all, trying to get some sleep. So
Okay.
I'm pretty much up. I get a couple of hours of sleep. My day typically starts around 5 a.m. I'm checking emails. I may have to send some stuff out if something is under contract or I'm waiting on a home inspection report or a home appraisal report, or if there was something found on the home inspection and then I have to help the client, work through that process. I'm trying to get all my emails out first thing and then scheduling my appointments for me to take them out on the road to see the properties, as well as talking to lenders, talking about funding, and getting people where they need to be to get into the door and get the keys. So we can start the shopping, we can start the lending process. But if they do something in between that time, so say you got approved for a home and then you just go out and buy a car, now you disqualified yourself because you
Mm,
can't make a huge purchase, you can't be spending on your credit cards. When you get this home, you have all the time in the world to do that. So sometimes
right,
people
right.
mess themselves up. But as far as my day, getting it going, I try to do a little bit of exercise. I try to read my word. I don't care if it's a verse of the day. I try to read my word, meditate, thank God for a new day, and get on out the door.
Yeah, I love that. I love it. I love it. So how many first time buyers have you worked with in the last year? And yeah, I guess yeah.
It's probably been about 12, 13.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And then sometimes you get, I guess, now I say repeat, but folks that are maybe working on a second or third home because you get everybody.
Yeah, I get a mixture. So
Okay.
that's first time buyers. And then like you said, you get repeats, you get referrals, but then I also get the sellers. So I have people
Uh,
that want me to sell their home. I work both sides. I also help with people that are looking for rentals. Sometimes we may start out with the home buying process and you may need a year to work on some things. So,
mhm.
and then your lease may be expiring or something of that nature. So I am able to help people find a rental space, whether they want to live in an apartment, a townhome, a single family home. I'm able to help with that. I'm able to help business owners find business space.
Okay.
So I'm able to work with commercial properties and help them get a lease for their business. While we're on that, there is some opportunities in the Penn North area where the riots were. They have an opportunity if you find a business that you would, if you find a storefront there that you would like to use for your business, there is a grant available to help you build that storefront out. So building that out, some people may not know what that looks like, but most people that open up their business, they customize the store to the way they would like for it to look. So that's what the word build out is. So there is some money available in that North and Penn area for businesses, as well as some people downtown. Downtown has money too. So just call me. I can help
The
in a
list
whole
goes
lot
on
of
and
ways.
on.
Oh, and
Okay.
I also do property management. So two of my clients, I have to go to rent court soon. But yeah, so I do property management as well. And again, it's not just me. I have a team. I have a very supportive office, and we work together so the ball can continue to roll.
Okay. Yeah. One of the things, again, you mentioned having a team. My team, we did some additional digging, and we found a few things. One, we understand that you like to travel, but also you did some acting.
Yes, yes.
So let's
Um,
talk. Let's talk a little acting. I think one of the things they noted was the Christmas lottery,
yes.
2020,
Uh-huh.
holiday heartbreak, 2020. Again, Charm City Kings in 2020.
Oh, y'all
Um,
was really looking.
well, I mean, this is Be Exposed Radio. We like to dig. We like to dig and see what comes up. So, what was that like? I mean, how long were you doing acting? Is that something you still have that you're still passionate about,
Yes,
or
I'm
what?
definitely always passionate about acting. I'm actually working on a short film. It's with an independent director and writer from Baltimore, and it's called Why Men Cheat. And that's the title. I'm not gonna
Mhm.
get no deeper because y'all gonna have to watch it. But
Okay.
we were filming some of it 2 weeks ago. Working and acting is a great experience because it teaches you, number one, discipline. It teaches you how to practice. You have to know your lines. Not only do you have to know your lines, you have to know the person's lines before you and after you, because before you, they're going to cue you in, and then you got to cue the person in behind you. So you have to definitely know the script. When I first started acting, I would only learn my part, and that was just a whole disaster. They like,
Okay.
Mimi, you supposed to say this. And I'm like, well, when? I was clueless. But
Oh
I
goodness.
started acting because before I was doing hair and makeup behind the scene, and I was like, I kind of want to do this for web series and independent movies and for some plays. So I said, I think I want to try my hand at this, and I took an acting class. Kimmy A referred me to an acting class with Awesome. Awesome has a Actors Academy, and I thought that was a 1 day class, and that wound up being a 4 week class, and I
Mhm.
networked. But being on set for Christmas Lottery had it was so much fun because it had the father from Family Matters. And then it
Mhm.
had who was the other lady? I thought it was Kim Field's mother, but it wasn't Kim Field's mother. But anyway, it was fun. We were outside. We actually did all of the activities. Holiday Heartbreak had Country Wayne, Michael Collier, Lisa Ray. Um, then we did Charm City Kings, which was the whole Baltimore thing with the bikers. Meek
Yep.
Mills was one of the main characters. I also did, what was that? We Own the City. We Own the
Yep. That
City.
was.
I'm in Hush on BET and All Black Network. That had Erica Mena. Um, everybody's in
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
I played the court stenographer. I was in the Big 50 movie. I played with Remy Ma and Mike Bless and a whole host of other people. A Lifetime movie that was written, I believe, written or produced by Nicole and Boris Kojo, filmed in Baltimore on I forgot what street that was, but it was filmed. The whole thing was filmed in Baltimore. They came to Baltimore and said they was going to film their first movie here. So I've been
lot
in
under your belt.
hold on. My first movie was Conscientious Battle of the Mind. I cannot ever forget Mr. Roosevelt Jackson. He's the first one that gave me my acting experience or opportunity. So I've done theater, plays, listen. It's just a whole lot of stuff that I've done. Sorry, guys. I feel like I'm all
We're not gonna be sorry for the things that we love to do. And again, actor, global realtor. Let's talk about this foodie thing. So you're a foodie.
Yes, I love to go to restaurants. I didn't even know that there was a name for that. A lot of us do this. We go to a restaurant. We like, this look good. Let me take a picture. So there's actually, it's called a foodie, but you're also an influencer. So basically, you can establish relationships with different restaurants, and you could take great photos, not poor quality ones. And you can talk about your experience, and you can share that amongst your friends. And basically, you are advertising that restaurant. Right now, I'm trying to promote as many Black-owned restaurants as I can. And then I'll branch off to other ones. But I'm trying to promote the ones in the DMV area that are Black-owned, because a lot of times we are the ones that don't have the budget for advertising.
So I'll assume that you participated in the Black-owned restaurant tour that was just passed. It is right before CIAA.
Okay,
Shouts out to Ezekwe DeVoe, who put that together, who was also a previous guest of mine. Okay, all right.
I attended that. I went to most of them.
Okay.
And I do have some video footage. I even went to the Black Swan bar competition thing they had going on that night.
Yes.
Yeah. So I went to almost everything. Okay. I was at everything. And I enjoyed the food. So CIA, I have so much stuff in the phone that I haven't broadcasted. But yes, I did.
Okay. So 2 questions I always ask my guests. And one is, what is your superpower? So we'll start with that. What would you say is Mimi Lievers' superpower?
Definitely would be prayer.
Okay.
Yeah, definitely would be prayer and service. I don't mind helping. Yeah, prayer and service.
Okay, well, we'll keep it simple. So, folks, again, we have Mimi Lievers on the line here. She's sharing her story as it pertains to real estate, acting, being a foodie, and you can see her information if you want to get in contact with her. Her email is scrolling at the bottom of the screen. So we thank you all for tuning in and watching. Now, the other question that I always like to ask my guests, as you know, for me, living a rich life is about 6 elements, and it's how I try to live my life every day. And so what does living a rich life, when you hear that phrase, when you hear that question, what does that mean to you? What does living a rich life mean to you?
That is a tough one, but let me see how I can unpack it. It definitely has to do with my spirituality. You can be rich in money, but poor in every other area. Living a rich life, I like to maintain my integrity and my character in everything that I do. But I also want to always incorporate balance. I like to travel and see different parts of the world. Living a rich life for me is a multitude of things. Like I don't even know what else I could incorporate. Enjoying life to the fullest. Every day is a gift, because every day somebody doesn't wake up. So I embrace that. That's the best I can do right now. That was
No, it's not. It's not a trick question, right? I think really whatever works for you in terms of what that looks like. I mean, I started
and
this thing.
also
It was no. Go
family.
ahead. Go ahead, please.
Family is
Family.
important. So
Mm,
I cannot forget family, family time, family things, checking on family. Family is really part of that rich life.
yeah, absolutely. So I want to thank you. Any last words you want to share with our viewers, our guests surrounding? Again, you can share with them how they can get a hold of you. Any advice you would give to future real estate actors, entrepreneurs, folks that's listening? What would you say to folks listening to inspire and motivate them from a general standpoint?
I would say, first of all, you got to find your niche. And a lot
Mm.
of times people are like, well, I don't know how to do that. For me, I have tried so many things that we don't even have time to talk about. Okay. I have tried. It is there was no limit to anything that I would, do. So I would say know your niche, work that niche. Always be open to network. Always be open to learn.
Mhm.
Forever be a forever student. You want to always learn something new. You never know how that could propel you to your next. You never know how being kind to someone or speaking to them at a meeting turns into a whole business, or
Mhm.
opportunities for funding your business. So always be polite. um, I talked about learning your craft. I talked about networking. When you earn your money, save it. Put some money aside. Money is essential to help you get to your next. And when you're
Mhm.
starting your next, a lot of times our community, we don't have that startup fund. We don't have that family member to give us $30,000 to go buy inventory, or we can't go to the bank. So whatever money you make, put it aside. You'll have your opportunity to live a rich life. But right
Okay.
now, you may get your money and you may have lots of it, but for me, I tell my family members to try to live like you broke. My dad used to always tell me you only live off of like 40% of your income. Immediately half of it should be going into your savings. And I used to tell him, I don't know who can save half of their money after they done worked for 2 weeks and got to get a check. But as time went on, it made
Mm.
sense because
Mhm.
you just never know. So just try to live off of the bare minimum of your money. Put some money aside, take some money to travel, and enjoy life the best that you can. And always put God first. That you can reach me at Mimi Sanchez 01 on Instagram. All of my consultations are free. Also, my email is Mimi Moves You, and that's Meme Moves YOU at gmail.com. My phone number is 443-618-1553. I prefer text messaging. So if I don't pick up, send a text. And that's pretty much all I have to say.
Well, Mimi, thank you for joining. I thank you. The team thanks you. My viewers and guests, thank you for sharing your story. So
Thank you.
we'll be in touch. We'll stay connected because I think we can have opportunities to do some level of collaboration, whether it's living a rich life or be exposed radio. You might have an ad, and this is a good place to run an ad as well. So we do commercials and all that good stuff. But enough of that. Thanks for joining. Appreciate you sharing your story, and
Thank you.
we'll talk to you again soon.
All right. Thanks, guys. Bye.
All right.
Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. So there you have it, folks. We had two extraordinary guests, Roxie Johnson and Mimi Lievers. So this is the part of the show that, we're going to switch it up a little because we're going to close out with Living a Rich Life recent events. And the only recent event I have to say is pretty much shouts out to Angel Reese, who was a winner of the LSU Tigers, the Women's National Championship. Shouts out to them. She is a Baltimore native. And, there's a lot of controversy, not even controversy going on, but stuff in the media that we've been experiencing for quite some time and seems to continue to happen. So with all that being said, again, this is Rich James. Thank you to Roxie Johnson. Thank you to Mimi Lievers for tuning in and being our guest. If you have an inspiring story to tell, you can contact us at livingarich.life.net. Until next week, stay focused, stay confident, and continue to be inspired to live a rich life. This is Rich James saying good night, and thank you for tuning in to beexposedradio.com.